Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Goddamn right.
And there we are. Why on sharp? Come on, you can do it. Yeah, there you go, Cam. Welcome, my name is Ike. This is Switzerland. Play it with TAGN, the Angry Game News. 10 a.m. Eastern every day, Monday through Friday. I talk about video games hardware, some movie stuff, and some TV show stuff. And ahoy, Ever Eden, ahoy, Haste. How are you guys doing? How did your weekend start? Let's put it that way. Because, I mean, I learned from many US citizens or US people in general. Doesn't need to be a citizen. They can have the weekend too, right? Weekend in the USA doesn't mean the same like it means here in Switzerland, for example. On Sunday, pretty much everything is closed. Pretty much everything is closed here. No working going on there. So the Lord's Day, you know. Swiss people seems to take it more serious. Ahoy, Aramis! And we have some news. We're gonna talk just about some technical stuff. More or less technical. Because it was just published this week. Some talk about the RE engine and the Unreal engine. RE is the Capcom engine, which they use since roughly 10 years now, maybe 9, something like that. They started to develop at least 9 years ago for sure to make it available. And the first game was, I think, a Monster Hunter game. Not 100% sure. And Unreal Engine is very popular, and many use that because, firstly, it's free and it's publicly available, unlike the RE engine. But I'm gonna talk about that a little bit, and we're gonna talk about the unionization of a Blizzard team, the Diablo team. About 450 people unionized, made a union there, and want better work condition because it's so terrible to work in an office. You know, bullets flying around you and shit. You're gonna fall in a pit. Fuckers. Let's just start with some random little things here. Famitsu sales the last week. The Switch is doing incredibly well. Overall, pretty well, but incredibly well actually in Japan because firstly it's cheaper than the rest of the world. They have a specialized Switch 2. Hardware-wise, it's the same. It's just that you can't play it outside of Japan when you connect your account and all that. You're not going to be able to and all that stuff. So we're going to just check here the numbers a little bit. So this week we had Switch 2, roughly 35,000 units sold. Switch OLED does also pretty well still, 10,000 units almost. Switch Lite, more than PS5, which has 4,000 almost, a little bit more than 4,000, 5,500 roughly on the Switch Lite. PS5 Pro does okay. Even the Switch sold more units than the PS5 Pro. I mean, PS5 Pro is now on the market, 3 years roughly? So it still sells pretty well overall. But yeah, PS4, I found that number actually quite interesting. PS4, the last week it sold 13 units. PS4. A console released roughly 11 years ago, which is just interesting and funny. Xbox in Japan still overall a flop. Overall a flop. Japan doesn't want them Xboxes. Well, can I enlarge the chat here? Snooty is following now? What is happening? Thank you there, Snooty. Appreciate. A little bit late though. Kind of late. Weirdly late. What is going on? No error. Error? It just... okay. Okay. But welcome there, Unfolding Joker and Snooty. And did I miss somebody else? Where's Ouch My Junk? Maybe his junk is hurting too much today. For Canadians and having hurt junks. Yeah, those numbers are just interesting. Last week, for comparison, everything sold more. You see, like the Switch 2, almost 180k units. Crazy numbers. Japan is doing very well with Nintendo stuff. That's all we can say. Very well. I was always following. The AI says something else. Anyhow, we have some rumors about PS6, which are just rumors at this point, but it comes from a source which was in the past often kind of right. PS6 handheld device can be docked like Nintendo Switch 2. We've yet to hear anything official about PS6 and its supposed handheld companion device, but there has been lots of hearsay and leaked information flying around regardless, and the latest rumor is an interesting one.
Oh, hell yeah!
Thank you, Snooty, as always. Very appreciated. Very much appreciated. He is very fucking generous. Snoot is... I don't know who Snoot is. I have no idea. Nobody knows, probably. But that makes it even more interesting, that he just gives the money to the people on Rumble. I don't know if he's doing the same on YouTube. Probably not. Probably not. Where was I? Here's a leaked information flying around regardless. And the latest rumor is an interesting one. A recent video from YouTube channel Moore's Law is Dead, which that's the channel which was often very right about specifics and all that, claims to have seen up-to-date documentation from tech company AMD detailing the specs of the PS6 handheld unit. He has probably always correct information up front, reading those documentation, all that. But that doesn't mean that they don't change in the development. You know, the AMD can still just change mid developments certain stuff to make it more powerful or less power consuming and all that. Codenamed Canis, the device will apparently be dockable, which like Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 consoles. In other words, if this is to be believed, the PS6 handheld can be docked and connected to an external TV or monitor, and may even offer better performance while docked. I mean, I pretty much hope if that's the case for a docked station here. The video is dense with technical information about specifications and so on, but we thought this detail would be worth picking out, as it sounds like Sony could be planning to compete with Nintendo's hybrid approach, in addition to offering regular home console SKUs. Unfortunately, it's impossible to know how accurate all this is until Sony opens up about its next-gen plans. That won't likely be for another couple of years or so. I think next year we're gonna hear some specifics by Sony themselves, just because in the end of next year, because after that next year it's gonna be like 6 year of PS5, and you should move on, man, with a new console. Otherwise, you're gonna miss the next gen stuff. Oddly specific. Your stream yesterday was great, Aramis. You're a very talented storyteller. I was probably on different places, or I streamed myself at this very moment too. I don't know. eGPU. I wouldn't call it an eGPU. Would you call it a Switch an eGPU? I mean, they could do something like that in combination, maybe. But what they clearly mean is like the power delivery, the delivery like in the Switch. The docking station has like the full power delivery, and therefore the Switch can just ramp up the CPU, GPU. I think that would be a bad idea. Doing an eGPU, like having a docking station, which if you need to replace it, you have to pay quite a lot for an eGPU docking station styled handheld console in the future. We're gonna have to wait. We have to wait. Steam Deck 2 release is over 2 years away, according to new rumor. A new rumor points to a potential 2028 release window for Steam Deck 2. The source of the rumor is a post for forum UrhG AF. Never heard of that, actually. From hardware leaker Kepler L2, within a thread about Steam Deck competitors. A user wondered if the upcoming ROG Xbox S Asus Ally would be undercut by the new portable PC releases from MSI or Valve. Kepler L2 replied, Steam Deck 2 is 2028. Without further details. Officially, Valve released no information on the timing or the potential hardware of a Steam Deck follow-up. In response to speculation about a revised Steam Deck in 2024, Valve said the next model would be a generational leap. The original Steam Deck first launched in February 2022 and was followed by an OLED. Shouldn't be an N OLED. It should be an N OLED. Bad English, but I think it's N OLED. Upgrade in November 2023. Valve has continued to support both platforms with new updates and features. Recently, Valve expanded its Steam Deck Verified program to hardware able to run Steam OS, meaning you can now check if a Steam game will run on your Legion Go S or other portable PC platforms. Yeah, can we trust this information? Probably not, but it might make sense, like roughly 5-6 years after the first console. And the OLED version has, I think, performance-wise, 0 benefits. Has no upgrades performance-wise. So would make sense though, the 2028 for sure. But it comes down to the price. In the end, it comes down to the price. If the price is too high of those handhelds, I think the ROG Ally stuff will not sell super well. It's just too expensive. I think it's just too expensive for what you get. You might be better off just buying a Legion Go S or the other Legion Go version. I talked a little bit about that in the past. Performance-wise, seems to be on par, more or less, with the Ally stuff. You read newest to oldest, which screams with the content. What do you mean? What? Wait, what? Newest to oldest. I don't know exactly what you mean. Explain. Ahoy, Big Z! Good to see you too. Newest to oldest. Side note, if you are into music, if you love music, and if you love game music, you have now the chance in the US to go listen to Witcher 3 Oh, also, yeah, sure. I mean, you heard me saying it, so it should be worth something. Sorry, if that's what you meant. The Witcher 3 music concert is ongoing in the US, so you have the chance to go listen to the concert. Prices vary from $50 US to up to 150, what I checked just briefly on different theaters and states and all that. Check out the link down below. As usual, all the articles are listed. Then you have this link too, of course. And you can just click on the official tour site. And here you have all the dates and the places. But on the official tour sites, you have the specific theaters with prices and bookings possibilities there. I wish I could go, but it seems like in Arizona, I will just miss it for a few days. I'm gonna be in Arizona on the 24th, and it's gonna be in Arizona on the 23rd. So yeah, I could go probably. What was the next after it? To Los Angeles, back to Los Angeles, but nah. I really don't want to see Los Angeles for some ominous reasons. Did you say game music or game music? I say game music. I didn't say game music. What? I mean, you might like game music too. I don't know. Big Z. All these are gay. Am I right, Evereden? She probably missed it now. She started right, but after that I haven't seen any other words by her. She is a handful. Anyhow, keep on the CD Projekt Red stuff. 75% of Cyberpunk 2077's Nintendo Switch 2 sales were physical. That's what they at least claim. And I'm not going to read the article. I mean, it doesn't matter really. Because, okay, let's read a little bit. The sales split was revealed during the company's latest financial results on Thursday, in which it said 24.6% of the Switch 2 games sales were digital, compared to 75.4% physical. And they don't provide numbers though. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that. That just giving out a claim and don't provide it with some more absolute numbers. In that case, absolute numbers mean something, right? And this article tells us though it is the best-selling game, third-party game on the Nintendo Switch 2. So I tried to find out, well, how many units? Couldn't find jack shit. So I tried to establish maybe a list, meaning other companies, which one is on the third place, which one is on the fourth place, and all that, right? And if you have numbers of those other companies with unit numbers sold, physical and digital, you can somehow say, yeah, it has at least to have more than 200,000 units globally and stuff like that. For whatever reason, man, I'm telling you, nobody is providing you numbers. I tried to establish a top 10 list with third-party games sold in units. Nobody's providing them. Nobody's providing them. Only Nintendo does it with most sold games like Mario Kart World, because it's the most sold game, right? Almost as many games sold like the console itself. I just find it odd. How can you make those claims but not provide any numbers? How do you establish the list? Just saying, man. What are you hiding, right? Oi, Bimo, what the heck are you hiding? Those companies are just weird. Because that could mean like, well, you sold maybe 1,000 units in total, actually, like super, super low. We don't know. We just can't like compare it to anything else. You might have sold 1,000 units, and of those 1,000 were like 250 roughly digital in that case here. But on the other hand, just to mention it again, Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the very, very few game that has the whole game on a cartridge, like on the storage on the cartridge. You just plug it in, and if you don't download any patches and all that, you're gonna have the full experience of the game with all its little bugs. Which is just interesting. Again, provide numbers, man. If you do such claims, provide numbers. That's all I can say. More of a side note, this game just came out pretty much out of nowhere. Even the article writer claims that. Voidbreaker, actually it's Void/Breaker, the full correct name, was made by one person and might be 2025's best FPS. The guy who supposedly made it all alone is named Daniel Stubbington, and his company he called Stubby Games. I couldn't find any details about the company. It might be only one dude. I just doubt that, because the game is a roguelike game, meaning it's pretty short, but you're gonna do it over and over because you're gonna die a lot, and you have to get better at it by finding patterns and all that, right? We're gonna watch a trailer. I think it's just fair to show you that the game actually looks like fun. An FPS roguelike game, it looks like fun.
Welcome back.
Of course, YouTube lies to me. You are absolutely not 1440p. Lying son of a bitch.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
YouTube knows.
Welcome back. Strange, isn't it? A dying god.
So it's about you escaping an AI.
That's the thing with this place. There is no end. Just a nice little reset button.
I just have my doubts that it was made by one guy only. You know? I just doubt it. It looks like pretty big overall. Everything pretty big. Stylish. It has a lot of particles. It has a lot of color. It has a lot of textures on all kinds of objects and all that. And if you're alone, you have to do all that by yourself in such a game. It seems like an impossible task. Because the last game he made, 2, was in 2022, 23-ish. And in only 2-3 years, you made another full-fledged game. I mean, it's like I said, it's got to be short because it's a roguelike. But still, you have to do the sound design, you have to do the effects, you have to do coloring, you have to do 3D modeling, you have to do all kinds of stuff, all by yourself. Kind of hard to believe, to be honest. Kind of hard to believe. For how it looks, you know?
That's why we have to escape.
You have to do all the animations.
No one else should suffer this fate. You cannot hide. I see everything.
In my opinion, it looks just... You have kind of powers beside your weapons here, beside your guns. You have some platforming. Yes, and this was shown on the ONL, on the online night live event at Gamescom. Like in the main event, pretty much in the main opening event. So this dude just made this game out of nowhere, and Microsoft picks it up and shows it as a big Xbox game and all that. It's just weird. It just sounds a little bit unbelievable. Nonetheless, the game looks fine for me. I'm actually quite interested. It's not expensive either on Steam right now. It's on sale for I think $18 or something like that. It's just very hard to believe that one dude can make all that happen. You have to have a lot of passion for that. So my passion. I don't know if you have that amount of passion to do everything, you know. You might be great in 3D modeling. You might be great in like mapping out the world and all that. You might be great in making objects of yourself. You might be great in textures, creating textures, high resolution textures and all that. You might be great in making music and all that. You might be great in sound effects and all that. But in the trailer, you see all those little things combined in a game, like a game is made up, right? And you did all that by yourself. So you're great in everything, and you are not like hired by a big company to do like their games. If you're able to do that all by yourself, you should be a gazillionaire. It's just a little bit suspect. A little bit suspect here. That's all I can say. Nonetheless, the game looks fine. I'm honestly quite interested. Looks pretty good, but yeah, one dude, yeah. Bimo also doubts it. Not interested in CB 2019 3748. Okay. I mean the game, because it looks just cyberish. And yes, here you have the game that is the newest one, Void Breaker. And he did another game, similar topics, like shooter. Maybe he learned here a lot, but this was published 2022. You know, for $20 right now. At least you're not going to waste a lot of money. And if you like roguelike games, meaning you learn the patterns of your enemies, you know what to get first to like bump up your character's powers and all that. And don't approach this enemy first, go to the other ones first and all that. Roguelike, literally. While you play, you learn a lot and you can be more powerful over time. So that's roguelikes in general. Let's talk a little bit about this guy here. You might know that face. That's Ridley Scott. He was for sure at once a great movie creator, like high cinema stuff, right? He was once amazing. And then maybe everything went to shit, especially with Gladiator 2, I think. He should never have done anything with Gladiator 2. He never should have shown anything of Gladiator 2. He should never have been involved with Gladiator 2, but he was. And I'm going to tell you something which going to upset maybe a few of you too. Ridley Scott turned down $20 million to make Terminator 3. I couldn't do it. It's not my thing. Legendary director Ridley Scott has revealed that he turned down directing Terminator 3, even though a major payday was on the cards. Taking reader questions from The Guardian, Scott revealed that he said no to making the sci-fi sequel. I'm proud about this. I turned down a $20 million fee. See, I can't be bought, dude. You can't be bought. Everybody can. It is just a question of the price. Someone said, ask what Arnie gets. I thought, I'll try it out. I said, I want what Arnie gets. When they said yes, I thought, fuck me. He tried to make like an outlandish demand there, and they were fine with it. And he was fuck me, but he still No, I'm not gonna do it. But I couldn't do it. It's not my thing, he continued. It's like doing a Bond movie. The essence of a Bond movie is fun and camp. Terminator is pure comic strip. I would try to make it real. That's why they've never asked me to do a Bond movie, because I could fuck it up. But they asked you. They literally asked you, though. They trusted you to do a good movie with Terminator 3. Terminator 3, in hindsight, is a pretty good movie. When you watch everything beyond Terminator 4, you know, it's a pretty good movie. Just saying, in comparison. In hindsight, now, right? But yes, you could have made this movie probably better and all that. And I don't know about the realistic stuff. I think that's what makes Terminator 2, 1 and 2 actually like amazing. Thank you again for the gift. You don't need to do it, but I again appreciate it like crazy. Much, much appreciated. Oi, Robonex. Robonex. How are you doing? Oi, Zorak too. Good to see you. More guys in the chat. So, where was I? Yeah, Terminator 1 and 2, I think, were so great because it was pretty realistic. It was like believable. It was like not over the top. Beside the time traveling itself. But that's like the one element that just needs to be included to make all that happen. Other than the time traveling, I think it's actually done amazingly realistic, right? And all the dialogue in it makes sense and all that, you know. So maybe we missed out. Well, let's go just for a second to Gladiator 2. Gladiator 2 released last year and continued to the story of the first film, but this time focused on Maximus' son, played by Paul Mescal. Original stars Derek Jacobi and Connie Nielsen returned, while newcomers included Denzel Washington, who was a little bit gay, because man kissing. That was a big topic before the movie was released. And the real gay, though, Pedro Pascal and Joseph Quinn. So yeah, he was included in Gladiator 2. So why you make this crap movie, which nobody asked for? Gladiator by itself was fine. You ended there and good. Everybody was happy. And it seems like not everybody, the production companies. The movie companies wanted a sequel. Now it's gonna get worse, though, everybody. Bear yourself for this announcement. It was announced yesterday, though, but not a lot of you have heard it. Ridley Scott is gonna make Gladiator 3. Yes. Gladiator 3 is gonna be made by Ridley Scott. Are you super excited? Are you happy? Me not. Me not. Give me a second, guys. I thought I did a good thing with the chat, but the problem is I can't. Oh! Rumble did some changes. Rumble did some changes. If you click on the chat on the 3 dots, now we have enable slow chat. Don't miss a message by slowing down the rate of new messages. Second option, disable large history. Go back farther in the chat history. Ooh, nice there. Pop out chat. Yeah, we want that. That's remained the same. We have a few more another option there. I guess. Good on you. Good on you. Good on you. Okay. Need to include that in OBS. Because the color scheme of my Social Ninja streamer is not good. So again, thank you Snooty for the second, and thank you Aramis for the gifted. Much appreciated. Bing, bing, yeah, I know. You don't hear the bing, but I hear. I get notified. Oh shit, too fast. Martin Scorsese is a better overall director. absolute cinema. In some cases, it's absolute shit. Highs, hellos, and such. Good. Gladiator 3, more man kissing. I mean, I haven't watched Gladiator 2 because I have zero interest. Like I said, I think nobody really asked for a sequel of the first one. Another pointless sequel. Absolutely. Let's test the chat. Go. Let's mute Haste for spamming for 5 minutes. No, you're good. No, I think it's a good option to have like the larger history there. Not sure what that means, how large the history is. I would love, that was also a proposal by me to Rumble in my demands and requests option for Rumble. Chat archive. It doesn't take any space. It's just text. Chat archives. You know? Let's go to BBC, because many people love the BBC. The British Broadcast Company. And at this point, I think they are just trolling. And even this article points it out. The BBC once again trying to outrage retro nerds, so I'd advise checking on the Apple and Windows fans in your life. So they had like roughly 2 weeks ago this outrage going on while they have inserted a NES cartridge, a Nintendo Entertainment System cartridge, into a Super Nintendo Entertainment System console. They just plugged it in. It looked fine, you know, if you center that stuff. It looks like it might belong on that console. But many people were a little bit like confused, and some were like having a meltdown for some reason. And yeah, last month the BBC committed a retro console cardinal sin live on TV by jamming a NES game into a SNES console. Now it seems to be out to upset vintage computer fans, as the broadcaster's breakfast show decided to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Windows 95 by pairing Microsoft software and a branded keyboard with an Apple Macintosh SE. Yeah, the Macintosh. I mean, at one point you could port like the kind of the Windows operating system to newerish Macs with certain other software, but nobody wanted that really. And yeah, this machine though, no. This machine doesn't take any MS-DOS floppy disk or Windows 95. I mean, you can plug it in, but it does nothing. And yeah, I think at this point, the BBC might just troll the people. I think at this point, it's pretty obvious, probably, actually. It might be not like the BBC itself, like as an order to the crew there in the studio. It might be the guy who has the props, who has the job to put the props on the table, was like, I'm going to show you nerd stuff. And he might just troll like the rest of the world. Because I don't think like the moderator and the rest of the crew have any clue about that stuff, right? But I assume the guy who has the props department under him probably knows. The guy who does the props, usually they know their stuff. They know what to need to be propped up on the tables for certain topics. And if they don't know, they most likely are going to look it up. What is today's topic? And let's do a 5-minute research at least. And if you go 5-minute research for Windows 95, there's no fucking way that the Macintosh SE will be recommended with this operating system. So I think it's a troll operation going on. Do not upset the nerds, says Beaver. It doesn't upset me. I really couldn't care less. It's just like maybe a bad look for BBC. I'm not sure. On the other hand, if it's just a troll operation, people are talking about right now, for example. You see it here. Right now, people are talking about it. So It might be a good marketing, just keeping BBC in your mouth, right? Giggity. It's just want to be hipsters. They don't even know who, so who cares? Could also be the case. Could also be the case. BBC do better. Oh yeah, here I just linked the full screen here. Hard to say, but whatever. Little side note: if you're a fan, I don't do like a lot of commercials in that sense, or tell you about products directly. But I think this one is pretty neat. You can pre-order the Back to the Future 40th Anniversary Limited Edition on Amazon, and it's gonna include like, go away with that shit. Gonna include, of course, all the 3 movies in 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. It has 2 bonus discs, a flux capacitor steelbook, exclusive Gibson mini guitar replica. I haven't checked if it might be making little sounds. Maybe. It's even smaller than a little ukulele. Might make some sounds. I don't know. I would be great. Would be amazing. Some license plate. Out of time. License plate. Some Jaws. What is it? Jaws 19 mini poster there. I think you're gonna get something for your money here. Limited edition. The box set is quite nice, you know. It's gonna cost you a little bit though. But given that it's like a very special edition, $150 US, 4K Blu-ray with all those little neat neat additions there, might be worth. Might be worth actually. Because if you break down the price per for each disc, you're gonna pay roughly $20, like $19 US per discs you have included in this whole thing. 8 discs are included. Just there for your information. If you're a big fan of Back to the Future, go get it. Spend your money. I think you shouldn't spend money on this one though. But they claim like they finally finished the game. Ghost of Yotai has gone gold, and Sucker Punch is celebrating with 74 seconds of brutal, bloody, John Wick-worthy gung-fu. Ghost of Yotai has gone gold, meaning that primary development has come to an end, and the game is ready for its launch in this October. After a 5-year wait from Ghost of Tsushima, there's now nothing standing between us and those sweet Samurai Champloo style lo-fi beats, except a handful of weeks. Don't compare Samurai Champloo with Erika Ishii here. What the fuck? That's like different leagues, bitch. If you haven't never seen Samurai Champloo the anime, you missed. Ghost of Yotai has officially gone gold, developer Sucker Punch says in a Blue Sky post. Blue Sky. That tells you also a lot, right? Why does Sucker Punch post such an information on Blue Sky? Blue Sky, the woke DI tranny infested hellhole, pretty much. Even they have a rough time there if they address somebody with the wrong pronouns. They might get banned. Just, I don't get it. I don't get it. We are so excited to finally have reached this milestone and can't wait for everyone to experience the beauty of Ezo on October 2nd. Well, I'm not gonna buy that crap. I talked about it a lot in the past. I absolutely hate the fact that Erika Ishii, the main protagonist, who is such a proud non-binary. She has done a lot on that, by the way. Go look up her Twitter account. You're gonna have enough material to be disgusted. And she worked as a main voice in the big, super commercial success Dragon Age the Veilguard. You know, she was super proud of that work too. And she's even more proud of this one. She has even done like 80 hours in Ghost of Tsushima by collecting everything. That's what she claimed. Historically, going gold meant that a game development had effectively finished development, as master copies of games were once printed on gold-colored discs when they were ready for manufacturing. These days, day one patches and post-launch support complicate the whole going gold milestone a bit, but it still means that Ghost of Yotei is very much on track for its launch date. At least you point that out. At least you point out that these days going gold is not the same at all. Like day one patches, disgusting. The news comes alongside a fresh bit of in-game footage labeled Firearms Gameplay, which honestly probably undersells the action here. Protagonist Atsu swings into an enemy camp and blends guns and swordplay into an absolute mesmerizing dance of violence. Yeah, she's elegant. Or let's say, because Erika Ishii is non-binary, it is elegant. It meaning the figure. It looks like a choreographed gun fu battle worthy of John Wick at points, and it's certainly been successful in getting me hyped for Ghost of Yotei's action. The fact that it's a follow-up to one of the best open world games around sure doesn't hurt either. No, that doesn't hurt at all. I guess you're building the whole hype actually on the success of this game. Like everything, if this game is going to be successful, it has to thank the whole success of the first game, of this Ghost of Tsushima masterpiece. It has its glitches here and there for sure, but it's still a masterpiece. And if that wouldn't be that so great, you wouldn't have a game like that. You wouldn't have a hype. You would be nowhere. It's not the same team, by the way. Sucker Punch has changed a lot the last 6 to 8 years. A lot. Doubt it that the BBC is honest. You're asking a lot of them. The regular trilogy for 56 is not bad. I mean, for a special edition, like limited edition, all that, 150 is not too shabby. It's not too shabby. And that comes from a viewpoint of a collector too, you know. In the past, I gave pretty much all of my movies away. I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of DVDs back in the days. Now I wonder if I have 100 left. I don't know. But yeah, for that amount of content in a disc release, it's not an unreasonable price. I thought Tsushima was super boring halfway through, so I'm not interested. Okay, Zorek. I think Tsushima is one of the best games for PS5 at least. Probably actually, yeah, probably the best in my opinion. It makes me think that what Ghost of Sushi. Non-binary lol, you might as well call yourself an alien. That's like saying you aren't human. They don't care for biological facts, Zorek. They don't give a shit about biological facts at all. They hate biology. It's very human, but yeah, they hate it for some odd reasons. Okay, let's go to our engine talk. So those 2 articles came out this week. And we're gonna use it as talking points. How about that? Future Capcom games will have better hair thanks to Pragmata. Pragmata is the upcoming sci-fi third-person shooter puzzles jump and run platformer, whatever it is. Sci-fi, everything. and she is an AI, actually, an AI in a little girl body for whatever reason, probably to carry her easier around. But yeah, it's a cute girl. Like, you're gonna be more attached, maybe, I don't know, to this AI figure. Pragmata is the latest Capcom game to use RE engine, which was first used in Resident Evil 7 Biohazard in 2017, and is now the primary game engine across all Capcom titles, having been used in more than 20 of the publisher's games to date. So yeah, Capcom decided at one point, we are not gonna buy any other engines, we are not gonna get other engines, which they could have gotten, for example, also the Unreal Engine, right? It's free. You can just download the whole set, the kit, and make your game in it. But the problem with the Unreal Engine is the more success you have, the more sales you have after a certain threshold, you have to give the Unreal people, Epic Games, portion of your profits, which makes sense because they give that very powerful tool, very powerful gaming development tool for free out. So it makes sense that they want at least something back. If you are going to have success with your game and you build your game on this engine, it's just fair to give them a share, right? But Capcom was at one point saying like, "Nah, we're gonna do our own thing," and that was probably the best decision they made. They're developing that engine, keep on developing, adding tools to the whole engine, and they added now this tool for hair. So yes, good decision. They don't need to give money out, no matter how successful their games are gonna be. The development doesn't get like more expensive over time. It previously been explained most recently by Monster Hunter Wilds producer Ryozu Tsuchimoto that the main benefit of RE Engine is that it's not designed with a specific type of game in mind, meaning it can be used for anything from third-person survival horror games to retro compilations to one-on-one fighting games. With each new title, developers will work with the RE Engine team to request and add new features to the engine, which can then be used by teams working on on future RE Engine games. So yeah, they have their RE Engine team, and if like another specific game team needs a specific tool, like, yeah, I want that this particle effect works in this manner. It should work like when I shoot it this way, it should do this, and all such stuff like that, right? So they just can go intern to that the RE Engine team and explain what they want, and the RE Engine team will be like, yeah, we're going to do our best to deliver that stuff because that's our job. That's our job to expand this engine, make it better, and make it work in your game. So Capcom very successful overall. Besides this last game, the Monster Hunter Wilds, has some issues. They got even death threats supposedly, which is wild, right? VGC recently spoke to Pragmata producer Naoto Oyama and asked him which new features his team added to the RE engine, which could then appear in future games. Oyama replied that the young android girl Diana's hair was one of the main additions. The RE engine is, first of all, something that we've all really built to create something that it's important for us as a backbone for our games. Oyama explained. And so, with that, we also have the ability to always request stuff when we want to add this or that to the RE engine. One of these, which is visually easy to understand, is Diana's hair, which is made up of strands. And yeah, some people need to pay attention maybe. If you watch like all the Capcom games the last 6-7 years, just a few characters had like actually longer hair. and more wavy hair, more open hair, and all that. So she is pretty much the first character in a Capcom game that has a lot of hair, open, floating around, very detailed, and all that. We've had games in the past that sort of used shorter hair technology, but this long hair that you see with Diana is something that we've finally been able to do with Pragmata. So we've had to help from the RE Engine team to create this. We then asked whether if a Resident Evil game were to feature zombies with long hair in the future, that would be thanks to Pragmata, to which a laughing Oyama replied, "It's hard to say." So yeah, now we can have zombies in the future with long floating hair. Capcom first announced Pragmata, a rare original IP from the publisher best known for Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and Street Fighter, back in June 2020. Since then, it's been delayed multiple times, and it's now due in 2027. Yeah, I hope this game is going to be nice. It looks very neat. That's what I can say. Capcom game-wise, like gameplay-wise, it does very, very well overall. Very well. You have like just a very tiny outrages of the game community besides the last Monster Hunter Wilds. Hippie zombies. You can have now hippie zombies with hair floating around all over the places. But yeah, that's what the benefits are of an engine when you have it internal and when you produce games with it and utilize everything of it. And the people in the company should not be afraid to go to that team who makes the engine itself for your company. Go there, ask for something, and they're gonna probably deliver it to you because that's their job. I absolutely love that, and was a great decision by Capcom. Now, many companies don't have like the capacity or the foresight and the visions of doing multiple games with your internal engine. So they go back, all those companies go back to the Unreal Engine. And many people bitch around about Unreal Engine, and I get it because it's easy just to download it. It's easy to start off, but you need to work on your game. You need to tweak and adjust the game or the engine by yourself if you want to make it work like performance-wise very well on all the machines. From low performance machines up to high-end machines, you need to put work in it. And that's what many companies don't do. They just use like the main tools of the engine and just, the game works on our high-end machines. That's going to be fine. But as soon as you don't have like a 4090, a 5090 and such GPUs, you might have a hard time to play the game like in good high refresh rates and all that. And now Sweeney, the CEO and owner of Epic Games, has some words towards those developers. Unreal Engine 5 performance issues are mainly, that's a claim here, due to devs not optimizing properly, Epic CEO Tim Sweeney says. It's been suggested in recent years that the Unreal Engine's 5 demanding technical requirements can sometimes mean that running E5 games on less powerful hardware can result in poor performance and sluggish gameplay. Epic Games founder and CEO Tim Sweeney, who created Unreal Engine in the first place, says the reason for this isn't necessarily the fault of the engine itself, but the way developers are using it. Yeah, he might be not wrong on that. That's all what I said the whole time too. You need to adjust your game. You need to optimize your game according to the engine you're using. And if you don't know how to do it, you might use a different engine or ask for help. Can't wait to have cool hair with my 30 FPS Capcom games. You're giving them a little hard time on Capcom? Depends on the game. 30 FPS can be fine on Pragmata. It doesn't look like a fast-pacing game, you know. He got offended because he has zombies. Oi, we are the show. Just what we need. More hippie zombies. No, we need more hippie zombies. Get off my lawn, you dirty hippie zombie. The marijuana starts growing in them. Marijuana? No. Mary J doesn't grow in people. At least not by smoking. Maybe if you eat brownies with a little bit too much MJ in it. Where the heck was I? In a media roundtable interview during the latest Unreal Fest event in Seoul, South Korea, Sweeney was asked if Epic Games was doing anything to address claims of optimization issues with Unreal Engine 5 games. The primary reason why Unreal Engine 5 based games don't run smoothly on certain PCs or GPUs is the development process, Sweeney explained. Many developers develop games for high-end hardware, then perform optimization on testing on lower spec devices in the final stage of development. Of course, optimization is by no means an easy task. It's a very challenging one. Ideally, optimization should be implemented early in the development, before full-scale content build begins. We are preparing two major solutions to address this issue. One is to strengthen Unreal Engine support. Optimization requires significant manual effort, so we plan to provide automated optimization features for various devices, making the process faster and easier for developers. How that's going to look like, I have no idea. Maybe put in a button like for simulation kind of tools or optimization, in a sense, like turning everything down, like just automated, like lower resolution, less particles, by one-click solutions, maybe something like that, to test it out on your system. There, maybe something like that. I have no idea, but that's just what comes to my mind. The other is to strengthen developer training, in addition to provide education on the overall testing and optimization process. It's crucial to raise awareness of the importance of early optimization. If necessary, our engineers can provide direct intervention to raise awareness of optimization techniques and provide technical assistance. So I don't know about that technical assistance. If I am being like a team of 5 people and I'm doing like my first just hobby kind game, and I have zero clues about programming, about coding, about making games, probably they might be being flooded or flooded in general with stupid demands by such people. Hard to say. But yeah, how far goes the technical assistance here? However, compared to a decade ago, the complexity of games themselves has significantly increased, making optimization at the engine level a challenge. Consequently, game developers and engine developers like us are increasingly required to collaborate to solve these issues. I mean, yes, if you have like such a big engine, right? And Unreal Engine has a lot of stuff to offer for all kinds of people, all kinds of different games and all that. And they're gonna just add it because they're encountering new like challenges, like maybe hair stuff, like in Pragmata. Maybe they're gonna encounter that, and they need to implement another mod, another tool to make that happen, just by demand and all that. So the engine itself is just growing too every day. We are actively incorporating the optimization technology and expertise we've accumulated while servicing Fortnite into Unreal Engine, and are working diligently to ensure the game runs smoothly even on low specs PCs. Yeah, I mean, if that's not just words and it's a real help they're offering right now and telling people we're gonna do better for all kinds of developers, the gamers are gonna benefit at the end. If you're gonna have better games, better running games, even on low performance machines, we can only benefit from that, hopefully, right? They aren't people, they are zombies. The seeds used to that flesh as compost. Fucking undead hippies. They smell the same as live Anessa. Man, I think Ever Eden don't like Mary J. smokers. I think she hates them. Holy crap. Holy crap, Ever Eden is going explosive in the chat for a second there. AI helps a lot with my support questions for Unreal Engine 5, far better than trying to Google it. AI uses Google though. All the AI searches you do, they use Google. All. They are so stupid sometimes. But yes, in programming, if you need like help here and there. Oh, damn, UrhG got gifted by Snoopy. The guy who doesn't deserve it because he's no gamer at all. But ahoy, UrhG. Yeah, in regard with AI and help with certain coding stuff, it can help for sure. Depends on how you ask it. How you ask it, because you're not asking it. You need to command it. In that regard, it can help, but only if it finds like already addressed issues, because it's just gonna search for you on Google, on Bing, and all those bigger search indexes. So it's not. It's just helping you, right? Lick me like a toad. You will see through time. I am drugs. Last news. We have to talk about this stupidity. Unfortunately, I'm over. I thought I had actually not a lot of news, but whatever. It's weekend, right? You have a little bit time for me, right? You can be around me and talk with me, use the chat and all that. But let's talk about this stupidity. And I think in the gaming industries, we don't need unions, because there is no real danger there. And in my opinion, unions are only there to protect your well-being, in the sense of not falling into a pit because your employer just doesn't give a shit about your life. Then unions are great. But not to, oh, where's my $5,000 espresso machine in the break room? Oh, that's inhumanity. Stuff like that. That's pretty much what unions in those fields are being used for. Like making really stupid demands. And I don't like that. I like unions in general, but they have a very certain purpose, in my opinion. Diablo team unionizes over AI, remote work, and passion tax of working in games. And already in the title here, you see like a little bit their mentality. Over AI, I get that. That's like a danger for everybody, in the sense of like your workplace might be overtaken by an AI tool there, right? But remote work, oh, I want to work from home. Oh no, I have to go to the office. Oh yeah, in the very comfy AC, AC comfy offices there. Fuck off. And passion tax. We come to that. What they mean with passion tax here. The team making Diablo 4 and other entries in Blizzard's action RPG franchise is the latest insight of Microsoft to unionize. Workers say the move is to help negotiate fair terms around issues like the layoffs and remote work. One like is enough there, by the way. Passion can't protect us from job instability. Software engineer Sky Höfling said in a press release, our union always, my reading in this article, I think it's the font that trips me off here a lot. Kotaku font, dog shit. Our union allows us to focus on making magical experiences for our players instead of worrying about the unstable job industry. Yeah, because I have a passion, I need to be protected at all costs, because I have the passion to give the players something. That's the only main reason here. Passion. The Diablo team, known within Blizzard as Team 3, joins the Overwatch and World of Warcraft teams in organizing with the Communications Workers of America, CMA. That national organization signed an agreement with Microsoft during its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. $70 billion US, by the way, reminder there. That would keep the tech giant neutral on all internal union drives, erasing some of the barriers that usually stop workers from organizing. Yeah, maybe Microsoft did it to themselves. Like, you want to be this big ass corporation, capitalistic one, but still like pretend to care for the workers, so you make it easier for them to unionize and all that. Maybe a bad move. Maybe you should have said like, whatever. If you don't like it here, go away. I have no sympathy with Microsoft. I'm just saying, like, why that move? To allow them to organize easier. Microsoft has voluntarily recognized the Diablo Developers Union, and they will now get in line to begin bargaining their first contract. The union is about 450 people, something like that. Over 300 ZeniMax Q&A testers at the company won their first contract earlier this summer. Helps nobody, but whatever. A passion tax for working in games. So what made the Diablo team want to jump on the union train within Blizzard? Part of it is the way companies use getting to make games as a kind of excuse to establish worse working conditions that those often experienced by workers in competing roles in tech and entertainment. Yeah, I don't know what really you mean with working condition. You're usually in an office, pretty safe usually, on a campus, on a bigger campus, which is like gated, so random people can't just come in your place and threaten you, killing you and stuff like that. You have break rooms, you have probably like a lot of breaks there. Everybody knows those famous TikTok videos about people. Oh, I'm starting at Google, I'm starting at Apple, I'm starting at Netflix, and I have like food all over the places. I can eat whenever the fuck I want. I can go take a break in that isolated pod because it's so stressful seeing the LGBTQ hate online. Shit like that, right? You know those. So what do you mean with working conditions, really? You're going to be paid primarily probably with a salary too, not on an hourly payment there. I'm pretty sure like 95% of you people are not being paid on on an hourly basis. Pretty sure. My entire career as a developer has seen my peers, and I'm paying the passion tax for working in an industry that we love. Software engineer Nav Bhatti said in a press release, at some point you have to choose between fight or flight, and forming a union is us doing just that, standing our ground in the industry. Let's shake it up, everybody. Standing your ground. He makes it sound like it's a battlefield in the office. He has like really to fight to not getting fired. Like it's horrible conditions there. The reason why you might get fired is because either you're pretty new to the company, you might be just doing bad work, like lazy work, like just mediocre work maybe, or you are just too expensive in general, despite being there for 10 years, you might be laid off too because of the medium work and all that. Because those companies need workers still, and they need like somewhat quality products. So they don't want to fire people necessarily. They don't care for you actually, but they still need you and they need your work. They just need your work. If you're going to get fired and you need to stand your ground, there might be bigger issues with you and your union and your work mentality in general. Just saying. Workers also laid out specific concerns around remote work flexibility, budgeting cuts, and the growing influence of AI in the development process. Mass layoffs in earlier 2024, and this year we have also mass layoffs, were one of the catalysts. A battle over remote work that began back in 2023 was another. A mandatory return to office policy forced people hired during the scamdemic to relocate and limited which talent teams could hire. Yeah, you might be one of the layoffs as a remote worker, and if you don't want to move, if they demanded from you to move, they actually wanted you. Keep that in mind. They actually wanted you to still be in that company. Again, I fuck off Microsoft. Who cares about Microsoft? But they saw a value in you. So what's the, I mean, I get it. I absolutely get it. Like you have maybe lived like your whole life in a certain spot in the USA, right? And you were hired in the scamdemic. You started remote work and you do good work and they still want you, but you have to be in the office now. I get that. But I'm also pretty sure you can talk with HR, just explaining to them, hey, I'm absolutely willing to still keep working. I love it here, whatever. Salary is good. You obviously want me. How about keep me still away, or at least demand only once a month, taking a little trip, and you help me out with traveling cost. Usually you still can talk with HR because in the HR you have also people, human beings. You can communicate with them. So it sounds like all fishy here, that this is like an issue. So you're just talking BS in my opinion, for the most part. There's no real argument against remote work except the control part, where now they know where you are and what you're doing. That is probably a little part, but it's not the main part. I guarantee you that. Like, it's not that they just want to control you. No matter how shitty your work is, what shitty work you point out or give out there to the company. So it's not a big point there. If they want you to work like with them, most likely. So whatever. Blizzard producer Ryan Cloudy told Aftermath. Let's check the chat for a second before we move to the last parts here. Demand Amazon gift cards for its viral removal tool. What? No. AI gonna take a bunch of you tried to turning it off and on again jobs. May even start scamming people directly. I mean, if you're gonna get scammed by AI, you deserve it. Somewhat. And Everything is going haywire once more. I never got into Diablo. Yeah, the Ninthai make you join them for a fee. And are on the side of company anyway. E.g., like with Rona, the union was on their side to get mandatory shots, etc. Suck my balls. Yes. Yes. Because usually, like the union leadership there, usually they work very closely with the company itself because they usually get like better benefits and all that because they are the leader, right? They are the main entry point of talking, of communication with the company and all that. So yeah, and the company says like, yeah, look, we're not gonna fire you. We're gonna put it even on paper. We're gonna sign it that even. But you need to tell your union. you need to tell your union. They need to keep up the mask on the faces, the face diapers, and they need to take that shot. I bet with you that happened like insanely amount of times with those union leadership there. For obvious reason. You're going to get fired, and we're not going to give you a reason because whatever. If you don't want to wear the mask, it's up to you, man. But yeah, you're going to be fired first. It's our policy. And they say like, oh, okay, fine, but give me more money, okay? At least give me more money than the rest of my union companions there. My chocolate salty metaphorical balls, no. Even metaphorical sounds disgusting. Salty chocolate balls. AI gonna take a bunch of tried. I heard it too. So pay Winnie $150 of each check, and he'll negotiate for you. That's exactly it. That's exactly the mafia, especially I guess on the East Coast. Because on the West Coast, you probably had not a lot of mafia stuff going on. You had the Jew mafia there in Hollywood, right? But yeah, those became very fucking big because of unions. Keep that in mind. Winnie said he got the same deal as before, but you gotta pay him $200 now. Doing shady deals, yeah. Can't help getting that Hogan's Heroes vibe on here. I know nothing. AK is strong too. Toyota offered us $100 for the cloth shot, but we had no union, and they never mandated it. Yeah, so because they had like not an entry point for like this pressure, because no union, it probably went nowhere with many people. Isn't that interesting, right? Isn't that interesting? And like such a place, like working like physically. Again, you're going to be probably attached or touching stuff that might be dangerous, right? As soon as you work physically, you might be in physical danger in some sort. And then a union would make sense. But even here, we have an example with Hilljack telling us that no union, they gave bloodshot dollars to take the shot. Almost nobody took it probably, and it went just poof, nowhere. What Winnie as a union had, his campaign slogan, would be a shame if something were to happen. Fucking Guido there. We are the show Dean. He has this Guido blood in him. He wants to be the union head. AI creep is here. The sudden rise of AI, which Microsoft is placing $80 billion bets will completely reshape the modern economy, is also in Diablo's team's mind. Generative AI is starting to creep in a lot. Diablo 4 producer Kelly Yeo told Aftermath. I can only speak for art, where in the visual development stage, if people don't feel like they have concept art support, they'll just toss things into Stable Fusion or whatever, and then do mood boards and stuff, and give that to the teams to give them guidance. They can do that, yes, why not? She continued, there is definitely a growing concern across most of the artists, like, is this going to replace us? Oh yeah, it's gonna. You better be a good artist. You better be a good artist, not to be replaced. Other game teams have already come under fire for AI art that makes it into the finished product. A Call of Duty associate director at Treyarch recently told IGN that only work handcrafted by the team is allowed into the game, but that AI slop sometimes gets through accidentally. And some developers at King recently told a mobile gamer that Microsoft was pressuring them to incorporate AI into all aspects of their workflows. Despite notable unions forming at Sega of America and some overseas Europe game studios, most of the organizing in the US so far has been confined to Microsoft-owned companies due to the neutrality agreement. Yeah, the agreement which Microsoft, the head company, made with this CMA. What was CMA? Yeah, the Communication Workers of America. Overall organization there. Big publishers like Electronic Arts and Take-Two, which have undergone their own ruthless cost-cutting efforts in the past year, have so far remained impervious to workers organizing. If annual mass layoffs continue, that might change. No. No, it will not change. Even Microsoft, they agree to this neutrality communication, blah, blah, right? Even they just going to lay off people if they need to. They're not going to care for unions. If you're not necessary, if they need to save money, if they buy another company for 2 billion, whatever, layoffs are going to come. Very fucking simple. Your union will not protect you from layoffs. If you're not necessary, if you're not providing like needed workforce, if you don't provide quality, if you are a bad artist, like here we just were told, why should they keep you? Why should they waste money on you for your slop handcrafted artwork if they actually can do it with AI? Because Microsoft has always the excuse and will is a fairly excuse. If the AI can do the work better than your slop work, I'm not going to keep you hired. I don't care about your union. You're just doing bad work. Bye-bye. Of course, they're going to word it differently, but those people are just delusional, in my opinion. Just those people don't understand really how bigger corporations work and how unions work. Just because you're in a union, you're not protected from everything. Crazy people. Oi, beers. Learn to code. Learn to code, indeed. Or learn to make good art. How about that? AI is acronym for control grid. That too, yeah. Learn to farm and shoot. That's very true too. A friend of mine keeps trying to get me to go to MS after all this shit. I'm all in on the fuck no. I don't blame you. I think you're in a good spot overall. You have a lot of work, so you're not short of work. And you seem to be cheap enough beers. They are not going to fire you anytime soon. So you might have a leverage there, to negotiate some salary ups. Or maybe you are just this bitch who is afraid to say anything and just work 70 hours a week at least. I don't. Right now, you seem to work a lot the last 6 months or so. So, yeah. Are you fans of unions? I told you, I think unions are needed, are necessary, but in certain working fields, not in a fucking office. I literally don't see any point in unions in offices. That's just my opinion, though. Everybody, thank you for being around. I went quite a lot over, but why not? It's a weekend. It was comfortable enough. I thank Snooty for the 2 gifted. Much appreciated, buddy. I thank Aramis for the 1 gifted. Much appreciated. I'm gonna note you. You're gonna get on the list higher. Just saying. Just saying. The list is gonna be shown today, actually. I didn't plan to do any streams today, but it's gonna be a technical test stream today. Because Rumble! Here! Everybody here! Rumble, at least Chris Pavlovsky, the CEO of Rumble, claimed Rumble has an unlimited bandwidth for streaming, like bitrate wise. You can go into OBS and just put in 100 Mbit. You shouldn't do that though, because H.264 in at least 1080p 100 Mbit can be a little bit tricky. It's not meant for that high bit rate in that resolution. But you can try it out, I guess. You can try it out. Chris told us unlimited bitrate you can use. I tried it out a little bit yesterday, just briefly, to see if there's something behind that claim. I managed to go just for a short amount of time, like 5-8 minutes there. 50 Mbit directly on Rumble, it worked. I tried 80 Mbit over Studio. To Studio, no problem, no drop frames, no packet loss, nothing. From Studio to Rumble, 80 Mbit. So Rumble needs to do more. Also, we don't need unlimited. Just give us a little bit more. If you're going to cap it on 40 Mbit, that would be already quite a lot, actually. Like visually, 40 Mbit in 1440p or even in 4K is good enough, by the way. It's good enough for streaming. Also, many of our stuff is lame. I talked about it yesterday, how lame we are actually on gaming. Anyhow. Thanks, Ike. Thank you, Beamer, for being around. As usual. Yeah, it's been too much lately. People keep quitting. Unions are necessary, but they are very corrupt. GG's, says Robux. Ike's a giver. I don't even know we kept him over time. I usually try to keep it on 1 hour, but it's not like I have no contract with you. I can go if I want like 5 hours with news. But I found it like necessary just to talk about stuff like that with the union and the engine for people who don't know a lot about engines and my thoughts, if they are interesting. Because I know a little bit about the gaming, a little bit. I'm not like an expert. I would never claim myself an expert, by the way. Everybody who claims themselves to be an expert, you're a douchebag. You're arrogant. You're a moron. I use 45.2. You don't even know what I meant, LJ. Shut up. Rumble is gay. Heart. Anyhow, thank you for being around. Thank you for the gifted. Much appreciated. Next stream today, somewhere, the testing stream. Just a visually testing stream. I'm going to use Resident Evil 2 for that in most highest settings and all that, just to show visually what you're going to see on your screen. Regular stream next Sunday. It's going to be a gaming stream, regular gaming stream, and I'm going to start a Tomb Raider trilogy, the newer one, which I just like gameplay wise. They are great. Story wise, meh. It's there. It's interesting, but gameplay wise, they are actually very good. And Lara is going to die a lot. She's going to die a lot. Sunday. And the regular news stream. TAGN. This is TAGN here. The Angry Game News. Every day, 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. I start every day very timely, in a timely manner. Not gay at all. Never was gay. Only Ever Eden was gay a lot. And she knows. I always started on a timely manner. Eastern, that is, 10 a.m. Eastern, every day, Monday through Friday. Here, on this channel. Switzerland.playit on Rumble, of course. Thank you for being around on Rumble, mainly. On YouTube, sometimes John Thunder shows up there. And Twitch and Kick. Thank you. Take care. Have a great day. I'm going to have a great day because I'm going to go, probably before I stream, into the cities. Because we have a big event, a wrestling event, a Swiss national wrestling event, and Alpine Fest. ISAF. Bye-bye.